what up, fellas? Today we're fishing all day from morning till evening, going miles back into the salt marshes, hoping to catch some fish and cooking them up. And we're gonna be doing it all on this guy, an electric hunting fishing bike, the Birch Grolar. It's got big 26 by 4-inch wheels, which are gonna be good here, but also great for the beach. But more on the bike at the end of the video. Got this guy absolutely loaded down with everything we need for a full day of fishing and cooking. Let's go! We've got an ice chest back there strapped down and a couple of bags right here. All I did was use a little ratchet strap. I wasn't sure if it's gonna work perfectly, but so far everything's hanging onto those bike racks. We are going through here after a couple days of slightly rainy weather, and that's usually when you never want to come back into these salt marshes, but we're hitting a couple of soft spots. We're still making it through. Nice little flat area right here. We can pick up some speed for a little bit at least. Gotta keep our eyes open though. Watch for any big bumps. Woo. The question is, which direction do we go? That way looking a little bit wet. Let's try over here. Yeah, it's looking a little wet everywhere. We're gonna have to find a path. Check out these mounds right here. Look, something is digging right here. Unless it's... No way. Someone came here and did this. I don't know what it is though. Something dug a hole, blocked it up. It has made them all the way into the marsh over here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I have a 2-wheel drive truck, and you know, we've all sent it through places like this where you probably shouldn't be going in your truck, and sometimes you make it, sometimes you get stuck. If you get stuck in this sucker, it's kind of like my mini boat. Just pull it out. It's light enough, small enough. It's not like getting a big truck or a big old bay boat stuck on an oyster reef. Well, I can see the water over there. I thought we were getting close, but we've gone 2 or 3 miles. We're not even close. We're not even close yet, man. We're about maybe a third of the way there. This is looking soft, but whatever, all right? I'm seeing water again. I think we're getting close to where we want to be. I think we've gone about 4 miles, maybe 5. Pretty soft right here. I didn't want to slide out. One cool thing about this bike, you can hold that button right there, and you can walk with it while the motors are going at a slow rate. Easily get past here. And even when you're in your truck, man, I always recommend, like at the beach, if it looks kind of soft, you're like, oh, maybe I can make it. Maybe it's not that soft at all. Always stop, get out of my truck, and see how soft it actually is with my feet. It's better than getting stuck. Huh. Looking like the end of the line right here, but we do have water, and it's looking pretty wet. This wouldn't be a bad spot to cook up some fish, and we can even get a rod out with some bait out in that direction. That should get them. Worst thing you can do is hop out into the water on a wade fishing trip and realize that water is too cold and it's gonna ruin your fishing trip. That's why, even though it's been pretty warm lately, I brought the waders. Got the breathable waders. They can work even when the water's a little bit warmed up. Ooh. Nothing to lock up to around here, so the best we can do is at least lock up the tire so someone can't just come and roll away with it. Finally, we get to do some fishing. What we're looking for today is redfish. Now, winter is really good for trout, but it's also excellent for some redfish. So that's what we're going in for today, some good old redfish. Now that was something big, kind of spooky. Hopefully big red, as I continue to walk towards it. That's a fish. Oh! Line started coming back towards me. Oh, he dropped him. Oh my gosh. I don't know how. Oh my god, I caught a... Ah! No! I lost the fish, but there was a freaking tiny little seahorse on the hook. That was insane. That was a red though. Let's get back in there. That's a guy in shallow. Wow. Big guy in shallow. Hopefully we got the hook set on him that time. Actually not that big of a guy. He was just making big splashes. Woo! I wonder if he's even a keeper, to be honest with you. He's looking like 19. Oh yeah, he's gonna be under, I think. First, well, I didn't catch him yet. I was gonna say first catch of the day. Oh, yeah, that's right about 20. Woo! Yeah, right on the line of 20. With this measurement system, I can't keep that guy. He could probably easily stretch right over 20, but we'll let him go. Dang, still got those copepods on him big time. See a big fella? Thank you for the bite. Legal size for those redfish, 20 to 28, so we were right on the edge. We need a nice 23 to 26. Ah! Stingray, almost stepped on it. Sweet. We're getting shallower and shallower. And I think we're seeing some tailing reds. Definitely some kind of action ahead. Yeah, there's some stuff. Let's just hope it's not sheep's head and mullet only. Well, those were indeed mullet and a few sheep's head, maybe a drum. But now we're out here, we're gonna try fishing deeper, see if there's any trout and redfish in this area. Turns out, man, no bites in deep either. Usually there's a ton of, at least a ton of small speckled trout, and sometimes some keepers and sometimes some reds, but I didn't get a bite. So we're just moving on, fan casting, and just making a lot of casts until we hook up. Oh, there's a guy. That's a trout. Said we're not going to catch any trout. We got a trout, and it is one of those undersized guys though. 14. He's a wiggler. Yep, 14. Whew. I thought the fishing was going to be on fire. It's been not on fire, but we're finding a couple. We just got to keep grinding. Oh, there's a guy. That feels like a good one. Oh man, I hope that hook is set. Not the best hook set, even though it looked pretty exaggerated. This is the guy we needed. This guy's going around town. It's got to be the best one for sure so far. He's staying down, which like hardcore. That's a nice keeper right there. Good red. Good red. That is the bite we needed after catching just a small trout in the last hour. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's going under the boat. I don't even know where he is. Woohoo! Need to check out that hook. It's in there pretty good. Yeah, it's in there nice. That's not getting out. This guy has a small mouth. Look at this small mouth, huh? Guess that's why they miss the bait sometimes. Woo! Locked in. Yeah, that's a good keeper. 23, 24. Yeah, that guy's 24 and a little bit of change. Put him on the stringer first, but even before taking him off the hook, just in case he does slip out of my hands, we'll still have him on the line. Normally they wouldn't do that because I don't even mind if a fish gets off, especially after you already essentially caught it. But since we are keeping him, we'll play it safe. Now we check out if we're in the zone here, see if there's some more around. Gonna make a bunch of casts, fish it a little bit more methodically. That's another fish. Oh, this is another trout, dinker. Same spot. How about that? And that is a massively small dinker. Check this fella out. What is this? A sea cucumber? Is it alive? Hopefully it's not venomous. I don't think it's alive. I thought it moved a little bit. Huh. We got our fish to cook up, but first, before we start cooking, I want to get a rod out with some bait that we caught earlier. Got some dead mullet to cut up and use for cut bait. Let's see what a chunk of this might catch us. I don't know if we're in the best spot, but there's always a chance to catch something nice. We've got a ways to go to get this out to deeper water, but we came prepared with a big reel and a big weight. Huh, there's already some fish here, probably just mullet, but even if it's mullet, that's bait. I almost want to throw some chum out here too. Oyster, stepped on an oyster. Go! Oh yeah, that sent out there pretty good with the wind, even on this shorter rod. Got the bait out there? Now it's time to cook them up. I'm pretty hungry. That should do right there. Make sure to loosen up the drag for when that huge fish goes screaming. Not the best cutting surface of all time, the side of a cooler, but we can only bring so much. I would say that's chum right there, but actually that would be illegal. Alright, let me show you what we're going to be cooking up. We're going to be making some lemongrass, ginger, coconut redfish. Now that we're cooking, the seagulls know what's up. The bird knows what's good, man. All right, here's what we got prepared. 4 cloves of garlic, about 1.5 tablespoon of ginger, and about 1 tablespoon of lemongrass. Then we're just gonna season up our fish with salt, pepper, and of course, my man, cayenne, going in. Into the wind, mostly. Somehow, still, no bites on the big rod. So we've half cooked our redfish, sauteed the garlic, lemongrass, and ginger. Now we add about 1 tablespoon of chili paste. And this stuff is amazing if you have not cooked with it before. 1.5 cups of coconut milk. Then the juice from 1 lime to find all those cuts on your hand. Lime is the best. It's just so much better than lemon. Then a little bit of chopped cilantro. I've learned to chop it last because in the outdoors, this stuff is going to be the first to fly away. Then we're just going to season it with salt and let it simmer for about 3 minutes. Man, I can't believe this rod's not getting bit. I didn't think we would get a bite immediately, but I thought the smell of that nice cut mullet would draw him in. Honestly, it doesn't even seem like we got any hardhead bites or anything. How about that redfish right there? Coconut, lemongrass, ginger, garlic, lime, cayenne. Yep. Wish the fishing was a little bit better, but this makes up for it right here. Good old redfish. Wind was supposed to pick up in the afternoon. Turns out it didn't really pick up too bad at all. It's only, shoot, it's maybe 10 miles per hour only right now. I was a little bit worried it was gonna kick us out of here, but we still might have the opportunity to catch something. Gonna check the bait on this guy and give it one more recast. And then after that, we might have to skedaddle. Still got some bait on there, man. Gotta give it a rebait and a recast. Those sandflies started coming out of nowhere, tons of them. So we had to get out of there quick, man. I had to keep on my waders just to keep them off my legs. Now we're kind of on a race with the sun. Get back before it gets dark. See those guys? The swells make me want to say they're redfish, but definitely just some mullet. I was trying to see my tracks coming in here. I didn't see them back there, but I see them now. Now we can just follow those back in. Looks like we're on Mars here. And I think I realized what this line of mounds is. I think it's gophers. I'm pretty sure I have seen them in the sand dunes before, and I'm thinking that's what that is. Oh, that was awesome. So if you are interested in getting this bike, this is the Birch Grolar. You can use discount code Thresher to get $300 off. So I've been offered a lot of e-bikes in the past, but I never really went for them just because they were lower tier e-bikes. But when I was offered this guy, an e-bike specifically made for hunting, I definitely wanted to check it out. And to be honest with you, I never really wanted an e-bike that bad, but when I got this guy and started riding it, I actually loved it. Kind of felt like getting your first ever bike as a kid, and for me, I just started thinking of what I can do with it. So what this bike has is dual motors, so you're gonna get all-wheel drive, and that's pretty useful when you're going through places like this, and especially, I think it's gonna be pretty useful on the beach as well. Now, before I got this bike, there was only one thing I didn't like, and that's the fact that it is a step-through bike. The only reason I didn't like that is just because how it looks, but after today, I'm definitely seeing why they went with that. If you're going on a trip, you got this bike actually loaded down, you might see the problem here. To get on a normal bike, you'd have to come all the way over the top, which is just not gonna happen with all this gear, and especially if you're wearing a lot of clothes or waders. Another awesome thing is the amount of storage you can have on this bike. You got these two side bags, this big old rack right here, and coming around to the front, you got a whole nother rack. It's got front shocks for those bumps, and even the seat has some suspension in it. The only thing it doesn't have is a front fender, which would have been really nice. I had to put this on separate. It's not really big enough, but it's doing something. And this is a bigger bike, which is perfect for me because I am 6'7", and really, I honestly didn't think I would want an e-bike that much. But after getting it, man, I actually love it. I'm just starting to think of all the stuff we can do with it, and I think we're gonna go on some adventures with it. So if you are interested, all the links are in the description, and use discount code Thresher for $300 off. And of course, out here by the salt water, you always have to worry about corrosion. So definitely gonna give it a good clean every time we use it. So we'll see how long it lasts and how many miles we can put on it. I already have over 200. Love you guys very much. We'll see you guys next time.